This is John with the Active Towns channel, and I'm in Denver, Colorado today, and we're going to go out and take a look at some of the trails and pathways, and I have a special guest here with me. Behind me here, I'm going to swing the camera around and get a proper introduction.
My name's Adam Lind. I'm the Trails Program Manager with Denver Parks and Rec. Been with the city for about 4 years, and we'll be taking you on a tour of the trails and to see some awesome new murals that we got today.
That sounds great, Adam. And we're at a pretty special location. Talk a little bit about this particular spot here.
Yeah, we're here at Shoemaker Plaza, which is part of Confluence Park, where the South Platte River and Cherry Creek combine, as well as the South Platte River Trail and Cherry Creek Trails, which stretch out for probably 30 plus miles combined, if not more. So really a big confluence of activity, trail users, biking, scooting, walking, running, kind of a big hub where everything comes together downtown.
Yeah. In fact, right behind you here, off to your right shoulder, is the confluence itself of Cherry Creek and the river. And yeah, it's a fun area. I mean, there's so much excitement and energy here, and it's great to bring people in here. I was just sharing with you that back in the 90s, this was basically a no man's land.
Yeah, now it's really a hub of activity for families, people, and going for exercise, commuting, all of it. There's river access when it gets real hot. Some people get down in the creek. Pretty calm and relaxed today, but when we get some big storms, it can get pretty raging down here. Some people get in and kayak. So kind of activities for all.
Fantastic, that's great. Well, we're gonna head on out, and you mentioned, when it gets hot, and we're gonna try to get this wrapped up before it gets too hot here today.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, let's do it.
Cool. Should be pretty casual today, midday, so
yeah,
hopefully won't be too many people kind of out and about conflicting with us, but you never know.
So speak to the sort of the integration of the off-street network of pathways with the rest of the network and the on-street facilities as well.
Yeah, so I think, the trail network kind of serves as the backbone, if you could say. South Platte Trail and Cherry Creek have been built since, the 70s.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot sooner than really like the on-road bike network, and people really started biking on the street. Since then, a lot of the work that Dottie does to build out their on-street network is really about tying people in. So there's protected bike lanes, for example, in the Cap Hill area, Golden Triangle on 13th and 14th, and those go straight into the connections to Cherry Creek. A lot of the upgrades on the network are tying into South Platte and kind of in like the Northeast Denver area, which is far away from here, but still part of the city. We're kind of doing everything fresh. So new roads are being built, new trails are being built, and that way we have a chance to kind of integrate all that planning on the front end. Whereas here around downtown, we're really trying to modify existing streets or tie in new developments, make upgrades to tie into the existing network, since the trails and the roads are already here. But obviously not originally built and planned for safe cycling and kind of all age cycling. So a lot of coordination between us and Denver Parks and Rec and Dottie to
I was just going to say, that's one of the key things that has to take place, is when you have these sort of parallel networks and intersecting networks in different departments, then you're having to make sure that there's good coordination. And really what makes these types of pathways really shine from a mobility perspective is when there's good cohesiveness and connectivity with the surrounding land development. And sort of off to our shoulder, we see new housing that didn't exist just a few years ago. And so it's really critical to have those connections and that connectivity.
Yeah, I mean, I think the planning is definitely there. You know, devil's always in the details and the implementation side of it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Dottie's making a lot of progress, adding bike lanes and protected bike lanes where they can, and a lot of that is geared to tie into our trail network throughout the city.
And you know, really what we're seeing here too is that when you have a safe and inviting network of pathways and trails, you start to see all ages and abilities out and about.
Yeah, and there's been a big push, I'd say, in the last 2 years of a lot of schools starting to do the, bike bus.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we're seeing a lot more kids out. You know, we're out of school season now, but it's summer camp, and there's a lot of camps that use the trails to get the kids down to nature. You know, that's really like kind of the cool thing about all these trails is you're in a city, but you're also getting connected to nature and providing that access. Some parts of the trail networks tie into a more urban area of the river, and other areas are kind of much more naturalized. So really have those chances to get in nature when you might not, or you're not somebody that typically goes all the way out to the mountains.
Right, exactly. And I see here we're rolling past Empower Field. This is the, you know, old Broncos stadium here at Mile High. I'm I guess you'd say lifelong Broncos fan from when I lived here back in the 90s. And it's great to see all this infrastructure basically connecting people to a lot of these meaningful destinations. We also rolled past earlier Ball Stadium where the Nuggets play. Yeah. And so, yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah, so I mean, being able to walk directly to Broncos, not only for football games, but also for all the events and concerts they have here. I mean, gets pretty crazy out here on the trail after events. Meow Wolf is right there, so a big hub for tourism and people coming to visit town. Again, access that. And from here you can kind of get over to some new protected bike lanes and tie into Sloan's Lake, West Highlands area.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a little bit about that connection from off-street to on-street.
Yeah. And I love the brand new little 25th Avenue redo that the city of Edgewater did right there at Sloan's Lake, which is really sweet. Just one of those nice little touches of trying to make streets safer for everyone and then integrating them with all these pathways.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think it's kind of interesting. We're not that far from downtown, but we're kind of in an area that's new to redevelopment. So right off of the trail, there's 2 new housing developments. So if you want to call it trail-oriented development,
that's what I do.
Definitely a selling point for residents. Direct access both.
For my urbanist friends, I joke and say it's that other TOD.
Yeah, so we can
the trail-oriented
pause right here, our first kind of junction of the trail network.
We've got our wayfinding right here. We've got some of your colleagues doing some, looks like graffiti mitigation and all that, which is part of, the maintenance. And we'll talk a little bit about, the beautification projects that you all are doing here along the pathway. It's one of the main reasons why we're filming today. But yeah, you're also constantly working on management and making it, again, a truly safe and inviting environment for everyone, including families.
Yeah, I mean, the maintenance is a huge piece of the puzzle, and it's kind of the unheralded work.
Yeah.
Luckily, so like these new wayfinding signs went in the last year. Mm-hmm. It's the first time we kind of added symbols onto those as well. So not just telling you direction, but like at Paco Sanchez Park, which is a huge popular park for not only the neighborhood, but the city.
Yeah.
You've got playgrounds, bathrooms, basketball court, picnic tables. We try to choose symbols that are pretty easy to interpret without there being standards.
Yeah,
right above it. Decatur Federal Station. If you aren't sure what the STN is, there's a train track, so that's
nice.
One of the rail lines. So again, really, it's not just recreation, but it's commuting and transportation.
Yeah.
And so like this junction here with the South Platte and Lakewood Gulch is one of we call it a regional trail, where it collects to Collector Trail. And The collector trail here is almost as busy as the South Platte. There's just lots and lots of housing down that way.
Yeah.
More housing being built. There's 2 new buildings right behind us here, so the trail-oriented development.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really talking about this network and how people can go from their neighborhoods and use neighborhood bikeways or bike lanes to then tie into the collector trail, tie into the regional trail, get downtown, whether that's for work, play, pleasure, fun, whatever people are doing.
Yeah, yeah. That's fantastic, yeah. And you just kind of pause and listen. And you get the sound of the water there. Competing a little bit with the automobile sound, but it is nice to hear the water.
Yeah, and there's definitely spots, kind of like we mentioned, that are more urban and more naturalized. Just kind of depends where you are on the trail system.
Yeah, love it. This is great. Great first stop.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, and so the next mural is just like a minute down the way.
All right. Go check it out. And again, we've got this wonderful transit and trail-oriented development all right here. Yeah, the richness of the housing stock, the new housing stock that's coming in to the downtown area and near downtown adjacent areas, just really impressive.
Yeah, there's so many new apartments going up and trying to create that housing demand that's needed, or the development that's needed for the existing housing demand.
Yeah.
Just really trying to fill that gap, make Denver a more livable, affordable city. And so we'll stop here under this underpass where we have a new mural that went in last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is one of 4 It's in Denver's Nature murals that we did last year. It's in Denver's Nature is a Parks and Rec campaign for people to really embrace Denver landscapes. Yeah, so whether it's naturalizing your house with like native plants, same thing that we're doing in Parks and Rec, using native seed, trying to reduce water usage, and just kind of embrace the local flora and fauna that exists within the city. Again, a lot of people really think of Denver as an urban, concrete place, but there's lots of natural areas, and our parks also offer that escape from urbanization, heat, as a way to connect with nature, cool off, and so this mural has a few of the kind of creatures that you'll see around the city. You can see them in the Platte, you can see them at different areas, different parks. It was just kind of a cool way to help beautify the trails while also bringing some awareness to this It's in Denver's Nature campaign and the kind of natural flora and fauna that exists throughout the city. So we did 4 of these. There's 2 on the Platte, 1 on Cherry Creek, and 1 out in Northeast Denver on First Creek. And they're all, we did a call for art, so a bunch of artists applied, let us know kind of what their take on the theme was. I think we had over 60 applicants for 4 murals. All the artists were paid for their work. We had these 4 installed, and this is the first one.
Yeah. One of the things that we notice on these types of trails, especially in the near, urban environment, and we just start getting onto the edge, we've got a little bit of an industrial feel here. And so the numbers of people, sort of diminish. You don't see as many people walking in this area. And so we do see a little bit faster moving rec riders that are blowing through here. Real quickly, just speak to a little bit of how you all, in the Parks and Rec department with the trails, are really trying to manage that situation so that it's, again, safe and inviting for all ages and abilities, and making sure that everybody's getting along out here.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a challenge, not only here but everywhere. People want to exercise and go as fast as they can, and I mean we don't really discriminate versus e-bikes or regular bikes. I know a lot of people like e-bikes are going fast. Yes, they're definitely heavier. We do have some issues, but people on regular bikes probably go just as fast a lot of times as e-bikes.
Yeah.
So we have a whole park ranger team that's out here and does some speed enforcement. The speed limit on all of our trails is 15 miles an hour. We have signs up for that. But yeah, it's really, we're not trying to like give people tickets, but we just kind of want to educate. So we're getting ready later this summer to kick off an education campaign that's just about, ride right, ring your bell when you're gonna pass, announce, reminder, 15 miles per hour is the speed limit, keep your dogs on a leash under 6 feet. So really just trying to educate and make sure that people are aware. Especially as the city grows and more people are living next to the trails, we're going to have more people using them. Right. We do have a network of trail counters that kind of helps us keep track of the growth and the usage of the trails. And so what we're seeing, so we're able to know kind of where those target areas are, which also helps us decide where to put money to widen trails, because that's really where we are. Most of the trail network in Denver is built out, and so what we're doing now is being like, oh, this trail was built in the 70s and it's only 8 feet, and now our new standard is 12 feet of concrete and 4 feet of crusher fine. So in some places we're doubling the width of the trail.
Yeah, yeah. Fantastic. Well said. And we've got some friends up here. We've got our little swallows with their nests in here.
Oh yeah.
They're giving us a serenade.
Yeah, I think these guys just mentioned they just caught a pretty big trout in the Platte. We've got a lot of carp, which are invasive, but definitely teeming with life. Again, that connection in nature.
Oh, that's wonderful that they were pulling out trout. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this whole area on the right is all new affordable housing, mixed income housing. It used to be 1 story, very old, I believe like Section 8 affordable housing. Okay. And so the Housing Development Authority here in Denver has been working really hard to kind of redevelop this area, which we'll be coming up on. It's Sun Valley. And as part of this redevelopment, there's a partnership between Denver Parks and the Housing Authority to build a brand new park. So the trail here will be upgraded, widened to meet that new standard. We'll have a new park right here that we'll go through. The trail will have new solar lighting, lots of amenities in the park for all the new neighbors and residents that live here. So it'll be a pretty major upgrade that's supposed to start construction later this year. And so instead of it looking like this, there'll be a brand new park that it goes in or goes through.
Yeah, I think that, really bears emphasizing is that, we rolled through a little bit of a barren landscape and some industrial areas, but the future really holds that this will have more housing and more opportunities for people to access active mobility and get to meaningful destinations.
Yeah, more housing, more residents, putting people close to parks. One of our goals as Parks and Rec is to have everybody within a 10-minute walk or roll of a park.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's the good trust for public land.
Yeah, exactly.
10-minute park campaign. So
So here we are at the Weir Gulch Trail, which is again another collector trail that connects into the Platte, the regional trail network. This area is actually again in the process of being completely redone.
Right.
So there's a major project to not only rebuild the trail, it'll actually switch to the other side of the gulch, but rebuild the gulch, renaturalize it, and in several phases go upstream from where we are. So this whole area will be rebuilt. New trail meeting standards again, trail amenities, solar lighting, really again just like enhancing the trail network and the naturalized waterway that's degraded over time from urbanization. And so really just continuing to build these amenities for new neighbors.
Yeah, I love it. Talk a little bit about the land that's behind you. Obviously we've got the river that's running through there. Who really controls and owns the land, from the banks of that river over to the interstate that we see there?
Yeah, so the city pretty much owns all the river water channels in the city, and then we partner with Mile High Flood District. That's kind of like the regional flood control agency, and so a lot of the projects that we do, like this one here that's going to rebuild Weir Gulch, is a partnership project between the city and Mile High. We've got some projects further downstream on the Platte where we're upgrading the trail, channel improvements, again working together and partnering to really build the best kind of system that we can, not only for the trail users but also for the water and flood control.
Yeah, fantastic. One of the reasons why I asked is we do hear a pretty constant noise pollution from the interstate, given our proximity, but it's really not that bad. But at the same time, you could tell, especially as we have housing coming in, to my left here and your right and behind us. It really speaks to the fact that, whenever we can have some noise mitigation to these types of environments, maybe even planting more trees, who knows? But anything that we can do to, sort of decrease that negative impact of both noise pollution as well as the PM 2.5 particulate matter pollution from the freeways, the better off we will all be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is kind of what it is. Interstate 25, it's a massive highway that's there and got built in the 70s, so moving it is not necessarily something
I was
do.
Definitely not thinking moving it, but whatever we can do to make it less obnoxious.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a section of the trail further upstream down the way that the trail is smack dab next to the highway. There's like a 4-foot wall. So we actually have a project right now through a federal grant that's gonna basically build a new pedestrian bridge to move the trail to the opposite side of the river, and build a new trail down that western bank. And so can't move the road, but we can move the trail and create a new, better experience for trail users. And then we also have a city initiative that we've called Trees and Trails. So not so much about noise, but it is hot out here. Denver's only getting hotter in the summer, and so we're trying to plant trees and start shading the trail even more than we have. So picking kind of trails in high equity need neighborhoods, high heat index neighborhoods, low canopy neighborhoods, and really planting new trees along the trail, south and west side preferred to shade the trails. Yeah,
you're speaking my language now. Trees are activity assets when we can get them integrated with our trails, parks, and pathways. Yeah. Okay, well, let's keep rolling. We're getting hot here.
Cool. Yeah, so we do typically have like a really bad graffiti issue on the trails, but somehow these signs haven't fallen victim to that yet.
Yeah, it's what it's like. It's just a constant battle.
Yeah.
You have to just be vigilant, keep it going. But this is really extraordinary. It's just so cool to see all these new developments, more housing coming in nearby, and and being able to have access to this kind of network of trails is just so empowering for people.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and it's not really Denver specific per se, like city boundaries. I mean, the Platte goes south through multiple jurisdictions and north through multiple jurisdictions. It ties into the Clear Creek Trail that goes west out to Golden, and the long-term plan is for it to go all the way to tie into Vail and the top of Vail Pass.
Nice. Now you're talking.
Now I think I just read that said they're building a 7-mile section of the Vail Valley Trail, and that'll be the last piece that you can tie all the way into Glenwood.
Wow, yeah.
And then you can get down to Breckenridge. And
it's pretty, so they're going that way, yeah.
Pretty insane if you're that type of cyclist. But even just locally, I mean, the South Platte ties into the Cherry Creek. There's so many offshoots, ties into Clear Creek, ties into Ralston Creek. So the network just goes on and on and on, and it's all off-street, mostly grade separated.
Yeah.
Very few street crossings on the regional trails. Our collector trails have more at-grade crossings, so that's something we're always looking at of how can we improve those.
Right.
But yeah, the off-street network here is amazing.
Well, and what's really cool, you mentioned the Vail Valley Trail and going up Vail Pass. It's like once you create that type of really truly welcoming environment and welcoming activity asset, it starts to draw people in just to actually partake in and ride those trails. And so then you have like an additional benefit to not only the local residents, but people start going out of their way to travel there. So you have the impact of potential tourism dollars too.
Yeah, definitely not my wheelhouse, but there's definitely bicycle tourism in this state, and it's fairly big.
Yeah.
And important.
And again, we see people, getting around on their scooters and
lots of big bike rides here. Like Triple Bypass is like a 100-mile race that goes over 3 passes.
Yeah, I mean those big type of event rides that go out. Those are super cool, and just on any given day in the summertime, there in Vail, you can just see the attraction that people have of being able to get around that whole valley, and riding all the way over to Copper Mountain. And
yeah, and I mean
these are it's not for everybody, but at the same time, that same trail gets a lot of people to work every day in the Vail Valley.
Yeah, and same thing in Breckenridge and Frisco. That's a little bit more of maybe a commuter trail. I rode it once. I think maybe it's 10 miles each way between Breck and Frisco, so totally doable, and even more doable nowadays on e-bikes. So yeah, we'll take a right and go back the same way.
And again, great wayfinding signage there.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of wayfinding to do. It's one of the super important and relatively easy amenities to install, but just really didn't exist anywhere in the trail system here in Denver. So in the last few years, we've started really focusing on that. The biggest one on Cherry Creek, you're kind of set below the streets in a lowered section with walls around you, so all the ramps and everything looks exactly the same, and never know where you're going. So maybe it's been 2 years now. We installed wayfinding through the first 3 miles of that walled section. So basically every access point has a sign that says exit to the nearest street, and then also gives destinations with Cherry Creek State Park kind of as like the southern draw, and then like one intermediate destination that's more local. So try to create some consistency, and then kind of with all of our new projects, we're including wayfinding. So similar to those South Platte signs, a little bit further upstream, we've got new projects. We'll have the same design, and then over time we'll build out that wayfinding network. So if you don't commute all the time and you're like, where am I going? How do I get to this park? I forgot.
Yeah.
Obviously a little bit easier these days with Google Maps and your phone, but don't want to just assume everybody has that all the time. And
yeah, it's even if that's just a reinforcement. I mean, it's just so wonderful when you get to a trail junction, you're not having to look down on your map in bright sunlight and going, oh yeah, no, I'm going the right way.
Yeah, and
I'm here at Elitch Gardens, which is another meaningful destination.
Yeah, here for now. Long-term plans to redevelop it into tons and tons of housing in a whole new neighborhood.
That's right. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
But yeah, for now it's still here.
It's still here for now.
Summer enjoyment.
Yeah. Yeah, that is big news that this will actually eventually be a community.
Yeah, and much needed housing.
Now, are you originally from the Denver area?
No, I grew up. I'm a bit of a nomad. Grew up in North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Which city?
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Okay, great. My sister lives in Greensboro now, so
grew up there.
We're getting our North Carolina groove on.
Yeah, Tar
Heel, learning all about it.
Tar Heel through and through.
Oh yeah. Okay, very good.
Still on the hunt for good barbecue out here. haven't found it yet.
Good luck on that. You can come visit me down in Austin. We'll show you some Texas style good barbecue.
Yeah, I'm not against eating a lot of brisket. I ended up getting my master's degree at Virginia Tech in transportation planning.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say like my roots of work or professional life are on the bike ped DOT side.
Right.
So did that for a few years, and I think eventually a combination of burnout and wanting to work actually in Denver. I was working just outside in Arvada. Kind of led me to this Parks and Trails position, and I was like, well, hey, I can still do bike planning and design and implementation, but the general public is much more supportive of doing trail work in trail corridors than they typically are of building bike lanes and exchanging parking or
Yeah,
property for bike and ped infrastructure. So
yeah, I do recommend that cities really consider leaning into and building out as much as possible their comprehensive off-street network of trails and pathways. And then it could also then bolster support of the transformation of the on-street network.
Yeah, I mean, I think Denver's got tons of people that bike and walk everywhere. We're obviously a super active and outdoorsy city. Our climate office has also been doing e-bike rebates. I think we were the first in the country to do that.
Yeah. I actually produced several videos about that.
Nice.
For you guys a couple years ago.
Yeah, so we've got tons of more people biking, tons of more people e-biking around, so that's really helped, I think, boost support. Denver's probably one of the bigger micro-mobility scooter rental cities.
Yeah. In fact, some people will recognize this location. This is where we filmed about half of our interviews of the initial round of folks that had the e-bike incentive program. So that was fabulous. I did that in conjunction with the city program, state program, and Bicycle Colorado. Shout out to the state advocacy organization that helped bring that about.
Yeah, so we've just got tons of people out and about, just, trying to get from point A to point B, not in a car, which is generally the preferred way. And all of our city plans, kind of state we want to encourage non-SOV transportation.
And we've got another pedestrian crossing here. This is one of the most important things I think cities need to embrace is like when you build a facility like this, and this is one of the older ones, make sure you connect to have lots of connections to the surrounding communities and the land use that's going on.
Yeah, we've got a big network of, just call them bike and pedestrian bridges that are, most of them are part of the trail system. Some of them are separate, kind of like roadway bridges. But yeah, there's several to get over the Platte. Some, like the one by Broncos, is probably an ex-vehicle bridge, which is why it's so huge, and now it's pedestrian only.
Yeah.
This one up here will be a pedestrian bridge as well. It's getting some maintenance work done. So you'll see kind of how we manage detours and keeping things operational and functional while they're going through maintenance, just because there's not so many options to divert people in a safe way. So yeah, this bridge kind of connects one side of the Platte Trail to the other. There's one more bridge just up the way. This is kind of the best spot to flip over, except it's shut down right now. So.
Let's pull over and chat just a little bit about that bridge and about funding. So, Adam, this is a nice little bridge that we just passed over here. What's the story with this one? It looks like it's been repurposed from probably railroad or old auto infrastructure.
Yeah, I think it's an old auto bridge that's no longer used for that. We've got the new auto bridge there, and so now it's been kind of converted to a bike ped bridge only, part of the trail network. Yeah, best way, this is the point where the trail switches from the west side, dead ends just ahead at Cuernavaca, and so switching over here, and then it continues on this side of the river for a while. So yeah, our bridge team is doing a maintenance project now, kind of replacing some of those grates on the ground, painting, kind of rehabbing it to make sure that it lasts for another 20, 30 years before we have to do it again.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It was just like a hop, skip, and a jump, and boom, we're in downtown. We're in the middle of lower downtown. Talk a little bit about how this wonderful infrastructure gets funded, at the city level here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a hodgepodge of funding like everything is. As I mentioned before, we've got a few major construction projects going on down south. Those are federally funded. So local funding matches, but through kind of like your TIP grants, TAP grants, all the federal funding. A lot of the money, so for parks, we have a 25.25 cent sales tax.
Oh, okay. Right.
So that goes to dedicated park funding, and that can be used for trails as well.
Yeah.
And then kind of our general city CIP funding. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of how we fund existing projects, widenings, new projects, maintenance, kind of all of that.
Yeah, and you know, off your shoulder to the right, you know, we see that connection between, you know, these trails, these mobility, connectivity bits of infrastructure, and the fact that they're linear parks in many cases.
Yeah, I mean, this is all part of Commons Park. That's probably one of our busiest, most popular parks, right? It's smack downtown. Lots of summer events, things that we host as Denver Parks and Rec, things that kind of private agencies get permits for to host events, concerts, music. All this stuff is happening down here. So, right, it's Friday at noon.
Yeah.
Not so busy, but if you were out here tomorrow on Saturday at noon, it would just be full of people.
Well, I'm thinking like even this evening, it's
Yeah.
by 6, 7 p.m., this is going to be hopping.
Yeah, lots of after work events. There's kind of like a nice hill over there, so people get a good view of the sunset.
Yeah.
With some of the bridges in the background, really pretty.
Yeah, and you know, we don't have to like emphasize this too much, that everywhere we look as we scan across the horizon here, we see new housing, you know, going in, and also mixed use. We've got some businesses as well. And this is what it's all about, of being able to live a little bit more of a car light lifestyle, is having more meaningful places, you know, connected by active mobility networks like these pathways.
Yeah, I mean, not too much more to say to that. That's really what we're trying to do, and trying to build housing where people are and where there's already a bike network and a trail network, so that there's options to live car light.
I love it. Well, I've caught my breath, so let's keep rolling.
Cool. Yeah, so the next mural is just right up here, so we can pit stop at that. Graffiti wars. Jesus Christ. Man, God damn it.
Oh yeah, very cool. Yeah, so there's it's in Denver's nature. Beautiful mural there as well.
Yeah.
So again, same thing. This was kind of, you know, done in like a contest to, you know, to figure out an artist to do it and all that.
All part of the same campaign. We did those 4 artists at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can see this one has some graffiti on it that we'll need to clean off. So as part of the artists doing the murals, we have them put some graffiti coating on there, and we have some anti-graffiti products, so it'll wash off super easily. We've had to do this one a few times, unfortunately. But yeah, just part of urban living and urban life, and the rest of the graffiti our operations team will maintain and paint off. So our South Platte, Cherry Creek, our regional trails have a dedicated operations and maintenance team. And then the other ones like Weir Gulch and Lakewood Gulch are split up into operation districts. And so the people that take care of the parks also take care of those trails specifically.
Fantastic. And again, we really hear the sound of the water now.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's nice, a little bit less car noise as we're kind of lower and beneath all of the highways and on-ramps and everything. So yeah, we'll go on a little bit further up the trail and talk about some new solar lighting that we've just installed.
Fantastic, let's do it.
Cool.
And again, the running water of the Platte. Right here in downtown. You swing around, see another bike ped bridge here. Again, good connectivity to the downtown area. And we're getting into sections of the River North District. And you see some of the old industrial buildings that have been converted into condos and apartments. And more apartments right in the lower downtown area. But then you drop right down into this wonderful network of trails and pathways. And Adam's just kind of doing some maintenance here. This portion of the trail is not supposed to actually be closed. The construction guys were working on the bridge over there. The joys of being a city staff member when you're out and about giving a tour is you end up finding things that need to be done. I can relate. And again, art installations along the path in the parkland here. And you can see a mural just, up on the side of this apartment complex right here too. I'm just marveling at the art installations here with the rocks.
Yeah.
And then also the mural up on that building too. And again, we're just seeing another more richness of housing being built in the area. And yeah, it's just really...
Yeah, we're heading in towards the Rhino Art District, so tons and tons of mural and art. And then the city has a pretty cool program that all our capital projects that are over $1 million have to do 1% of the budget towards public art.
Okay.
So every project has a whole process that creates things like those rock formations. They're normally not murals, they're more permanent installations. But yeah, so every park, roadway, all those kind of projects that are doing new or significant maintenance also get a public art component with them that our Arts and Venues Agency manages in perpetuity.
And we see the rail transit rolling past up above. Those folks are looking down going, oh man, I should go out and hit that trail with my bike one of these days.
Definitely not a bad way. It's a little bit more direct on that train. When I used to work in Arvada, I used to take it.
Oh yeah.
This bike ride to go around on the trails is close to 15 or 20 miles to get from Denver to Arvada if you don't want to bike on the streets. So
yeah,
definitely takes a little bit of time. But when you've got it, it's definitely enjoyable.
And what's really cool too, I mean, speaking of rail, that's how I got here into Colorado. I took Amtrak, actually all the way from Providence, Rhode Island. And it's just fantastic. You get dropped off in lower downtown at Union Station. And then I just, grabbed my bike here and jumped on the Flatiron Flyer up to Boulder and then rode my bike to my buddy's house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a way to get around.
It's not as, robust as like the Northeast where they've got density and trains and trains and trains, but there's definitely, specific routes and specific locations that are very transit accessible.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously having a bike makes your kind of space to roam a little bit bigger and easier and can make connections and all of that.
And we can see a little bit of the freight rail happening here. And so I imagine too, from a trails and pathways perspective, when you do have that articulation and integration with the rail lines, making sure that everybody's playing and getting along well together. And train companies are not known for being super attentive to active mobility, but in the case that we just had there, we're going underneath those train tracks, and so
there's ways. It's not, I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a great partnership, but follow their instructions and their rules and get a crossing agreement and all of that. And
oh my gosh, look at this rhino, dude.
Yeah, brand new as part of this big DeNargo market development.
Wow.
Climbing wall, bouldering wall,
yeah.
rhino.
And again, more housing right along the pathway here.
Yeah, we can keep going a little bit.
Oh wow, and yeah, you can go right on up. That's the connection right there.
Yeah.
Getting down here to this level, or us up to that level.
Yeah.
When we come back, we have to go say hi to that rhino.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of an older section of the trail. It's narrower. You know, in the future, we'll hope to put together design and construction funding to expand this to our regional standard, maybe actually even bigger, with just, like how busy it is down here and all the housing.
Yeah.
You know, the ultimate goal is to separate bikes and peds in their own spaces down here.
Yeah.
It's a little constrained, so not the easiest to do, but...
Yeah, and with the infusion of thousands of new residents in this area, you're going to start to get to that level of going, from a cost-benefit analysis perspective, it really makes sense that we didn't make that investment now. You definitely are going to have lots of people.
Oh yeah, there's already lots of people, so.
Yeah.
Coming up on your left, thanks. On your left.
Yeah, and speaking of which, already having lots of people here.
Pull off over here on this little overlook.
Yeah, that'd be great. It seems like that'd be a really awesome calculation to work on. I'm not sure how hard it would be, but to get to a point where you can say, with the proliferation of all of the new housing that is, quote unquote TOD, trail-oriented development, that'd be a pretty powerful number to calculate that and say, from basically 2020 through the end of 2025, we've seen the increase of X thousand new homes within, an eighth of a mile, within a quarter of a mile, within that desired distance of 10 minutes of rolling or strolling to a park or a linear, linear park, paths and trails.
Yeah, I think our kind of data team at Parks and Rec isn't necessarily doing that, but every 2 years or so they look again, update when we do park acquisitions. We're looking at, okay, if we acquire this property to make a new park, are we closing a gap in that 10-minute walker rule? So just kind of wanted to stop here and point out this new light behind us.
Fantastic.
So solar lights, we're just starting. We installed 5 of them on this section of the trail, 3 basically at each kind of access point. So that's lit up at night. You can see where you need to enter and exit.
Right.
And the plan over time is for our regional trails to have them set up basically every 100 feet, which means everything will be lit. There'll be no dark spots.
Right.
All of our new projects. So further up the way there, we're doing a whole bunch of trail improvements for about a mile, and so that'll have lights every 100 feet. And so that'll be a section that's totally dark now. Will be lit up around the year, around the clock when it's dark out, which, in the summertime is less of an issue. It stays light here till 9:30, but in the winter it'll be dark at 4. And so when we want people to still bike, when it's not snowy and cold and frozen, I mean, people bike even when it is like that.
Yeah, people are biking.
But having this area be lit is going to be super helpful for people to feel comfortable and continue using the trail when it's dark out.
I'm really glad you mentioned winter and snow and ice and all of that. And one of the things that I try to emphasize on the channel is that if we build out a network like this of truly safe and inviting all ages and abilities facilities, then it's a matter of just making sure we have the management and maintenance, of said facilities during the winter, and people will ride. I mean, people just put on warmer clothes.
Right. There's no bad weather. There's just bad clothing choices.
Yeah. I mean, and somehow, in this state, we go up the mountain and go skiing in the bitter cold, and so we figure it out. And I love to point to my good friends up in Oulu, Finland, up within the Arctic Circle. The kids are riding at 60 and 70% mode share to school every day. Why? Because they have an off-street network of pathways just like this, but they have a maintenance program, a management program that makes it easy for them to ride in that snowy, icy environment.
Yeah, I mean, I'll plug and give a shout out to our trails operations team again. I mean, if you stop and ask people on the trail about them, and they'll be like, they are the best snow plowing team in the city.
That's so cool.
Basically anything more than half an inch, they're in here plowing from 5 till 5 in the evening. So as soon as they come in the morning, so the trails are always like the first things plowed almost bare. And yeah, I mean, we live in Colorado, like we get a lot of snow, but it's not like DC or New York. I used to live in DC, and like when we get a snowstorm there, it sticks around for months and months. Here, we'll get snow, and 2 days later, even if it'll be 40 degrees and sunny, and everything will melt out.
I was going to say, being a mile high and having that intensity of the sun, you know, other than, you know, the areas that are, you know, shaded, you know, you really do see that evaporation of the snow and the ice. You know, if you get that, you know, that first plow done, it really helps out a great deal.
Yeah, so our trails are always looking in good condition surface-wise, and now we're kind of adding those amenities, wayfinding, lighting. Drinking fountains is a big kick I'm on because it keeps getting hot. So we've got a few of those, trying to add more.
So drinking fountains and you know, restrooms along the way at critical points. Do we have comfort facilities up where the Rhino is? Do we know?
I'm not sure.
Let's go see.
That whole area is still in construction right now.
Yeah, it's brand new. So. Let's go see.
Not sure how close you'll be able to get to it. It might be fenced off, but we'll see.
Okay. We'll play it by ear. It looks massive.
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh yeah. Woo!
You can do that. I'm gonna make a call.
All right. Very cool. So again, the River North area here in Denver, affectionately known as the Rhino Arts District. Again, we've got some nice rain garden type landscaping here. You've got your climbing wall, you've got your Denver Bikeway sign to Coors Field and our Rhino, and some more really nice features on this side. This is going to be beautiful when it's done. Again, trail side, easy access, and as Adam mentioned, you know, eventually getting this widened. And again, lots and lots of housing right along the way here. Very cool. You can see further down too that the park just kind of continues for quite some ways. It looks like a
so it's
big
all
play structure.
New shared space, park space, top of the bank. The long-term vision is, so we have Arkins Park kind of down that way. It's like used to be this old road, undeveloped. It's turned into this, and so the plan is eventually to like somehow fully connect everything, either through dedicated space or more of a shared space. Where like bikes and peds are first and cars are second. So
lovely.
Big change.
Yeah, I love it.
Whip this tight turn down here. It's been quite rainy, so there's dirt everywhere.
Yeah. Another big play structure here.
Yep, new playground. I think this building's been here a while, but they're building a whole new mixed-use development with multiple buildings.
Yeah.
That's part of that thing that there's part of the development that built that big Rhino play structure. So tons more new residents, trail front, access to the river, connections to downtown without a car.
Yeah.
All the good stuff. Coming up behind you. Oh, you're good. We'll scoot past. Looks like we've got some classic Colorado afternoon summer thunderstorms brewing. So we'll be good on our ride, but it's probably gonna rain later.
Yep. The afternoon showers.
Yep.
Cool us down. Another little bridge here.
How long you been in Austin for?
I've been just over a decade now.
Okay. There's a pretty good trail network down there as well, right?
Yeah, it's a combination of the urban trails network, which is what we're on now. Anything that's paved, they called an urban trail.
Yeah, same.
And then a nice off street network of natural surface trails too. And then, 250
Coming up behind
plus,
you, on your left. Thank you.
250 plus miles of on-street high comfort bike lanes
Nice.
coming in, so.
Yeah,
So we're
again,
rolling.
on the other side of the river is Cuernavaca Park.
Okay.
Just another part of that kind of like riverfront park space. Doubles as flood control, flood protection.
Yeah.
Really trying to like keep development off the face of the river where we can.
Right.
Right, compared to where we were before with I-25 and the highway right there.
Yeah.
The river's kind of constrained by a wall.
Yeah.
Definitely not ideal for ecosystem, habitat,
Right.
all of that.
Talk a little bit about that strategy too here in Colorado. I'm used to Boulder, and I lived through the 2013 floods up in Boulder, and how the network of pathways along the riparian corridors also, really kind of help, because it creates, a place where floodwaters can go without taking out the streets above.
Yeah, I mean, it's all part of that network of one, people are drawn to river and water.
Yeah.
So they want to be there, and then, it helps provide activation. It's a good environment. And flood control, right? It's not like just the trail itself, but it's all the park space that gives us that buffer.
Yeah.
Hundreds of feet now, so that when there is a flood, the waters aren't as violent. They can kind of rise up slowly, spread out, and then recede.
Yeah.
So we didn't have the same level of flooding as Boulder did back then, but I think there's a trail network park system up in Westerly Creek. That's kind of that great example of how the floodplain was able to be built so wide because the houses weren't right up on it.
Exactly.
So the waters came up, overtook the trail for a day or two, and then receded, and everything went back to the way it was. Yeah, and so again, we've got some more wayfinding here and also some more fun science. We had a sponsorship last year with Ultra and Smartwool and REI. And so there's kind of like a little network of encouraging running signs that are attached to our wayfinding signs, just kind of like something fun. And as part of that project, they donated, I can't remember, maybe like 25K or 50K, and that's actually what paid for this first solar light. So,
oh, fantastic.
We've started to get into sponsorships more. We touched on these murals here on Cherry Creek in a second. We'll talk about that sponsorship and partnership with HCA Health. And so they more or less put together a sponsorship package that helped to fund 8 murals. All the artists paid. And also the additional funding is going towards the maintenance of those murals as well as new solar lights. So really kind of partnering activation with infrastructure through sponsorships and partnerships as just a way to keep implementing things when city budgets are getting tight. And being creative with our opportunities to enhance the trail system.
Yeah, fantastic. That's cool. When we get over there, I'll have you explain a little bit more about who HCA is and
Yeah.
why they have a vested interest in wanting to invest in this.
Yeah, so we'll just come up and cross the bridge, and then there's our first murals right there.
Oh yeah, I see it. And again, we're rolling back into Confluence Park here, the flagship REI store.
Yeah, I just wanted to stop here real quick and point out this new trail system map that we put together. We used to have an old one that was very basic and showed the whole network, but not really any detail. And so what we're doing now is basically everywhere we have a trail junction, so South Platte meets Cherry Creek here, where we were before, where the Platte meets Lakewood, Weir Gulch. Every junction will have kind of like a centered map that's more on that 2 to 3 mile scale, depending on what's in that area. So really showing you, again, like what we were talking about, all these purple lines are protected bike lanes, how they connect in the trail, how you can get from where you are at Confluence on the trail, on the bike network to some of those other major destinations, rail lines, Coors Field, Ball Arena, Mile High, Cap Hill, State Capitol. So again, really just kind of making it more intuitive, again, if you don't want to pull your phone out or you just like looking at maps. So first in a series of many to come.
I love it. This is fantastic.
Yeah, cool.
Love the color coding too.
Go check
Good
out
stuff.
the mural.
Yeah, let's do it. And you can kind of see all around us here. There's several different murals, but we're going to stop at this one here.
Yeah, so we're here in front of this new mural by Carrie Sesson. So this is part of that sponsorship agreement, partnership with HCA Health, one of the big healthcare providers in the area in Colorado. And so we kind of got together and started talking of how can we embrace, right, like not only people wanting to go to the doctor's office, hospitals where they need that, but really like community health, activation, prevention. And so the trail system is just hugely visible, active. We have a massive trail counter over there by Confluence Park, and it might be over 1 million now between bikes and peds. And if not now, by the end of the year, it'll definitely be over 1 million people. So that's how many people are out here using our trail system daily. Yeah, and I mean, we've got these walls everywhere, as you saw. Some of them are covered in graffiti, so we're constantly doing maintenance on that. Murals generally do help keep graffiti off, not everywhere always. But yeah, it's a little bit of graffiti deterrent, it's a beautification, it's activation. So we've got these plaques here that kind of like encourage people to engage with the murals and tag HCA Health and Denver Parks in them. The big theme was the one for this, so it was everybody's interpretation of the one, whether it's one person, one idea, one person, one idea, one health thing. And so this one is super cool. There's kind of like a finders keepers little thing of you can spin this wheel and find like the P, and then you can look on the mural and find all the P's, the plus sign. This one I believe is really kind of focused on that internal health. And so like we've got a big human outline here, and then the lungs, molecules, different elements that make up the human body, as well as tied with nature, different local fauna and flowers and plant life. And so yeah, super cool. This will be part of 8 murals total. We've got 3 of them done now, 4th one is in the works, and then kind of up towards where we were earlier, we'll get 2 more big ones, 500 square feet on kind of some of those bigger towers. So should be super cool. And then later this year, we're gonna do a mural fest and get kind of a lot of artists doing a lot smaller murals, but giving more artists the opportunity to come out, the community come out. It'll be like a one-day event on September 14th on Cherry Creek, a little bit further away from Confluence.
Fantastic. That is great. This is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Adam Lind, Denver Parks and Rec, Trails Program Manager, and Mural Curator Aficionado. This is freaking so cool.
Yeah, it's
Adam,
awesome.
Final words there, sir.
Yeah, come to Denver, come enjoy our beautiful trail system, come enjoy our natural waterways. Yeah, beautiful city, beautiful trail network, enjoy your bike ride.
Fantastic. Adam, thank you so very much for this wonderful tour of
Yeah.
your parks and trails and murals.
Thanks for letting us show it off.
And again, just want to send a huge thank you to all my Active Towns ambassadors supporting the channel financially via YouTube memberships, YouTube super thanks, as well as making contributions to the nonprofit and joining my Patreon. Every little bit adds up and is very much appreciated. Thank you all so much.